Okay, so here we are on the beach in front of Shoal Sets and Dixon's in Gibson's Landing. We've got 125 feet of fishing line with helium balloons at the top. We're trying to demonstrate how tall the George Hotel would be. The architects told us that the roof line of the building is 125 feet from high tide or king tide, so we've got our lines starting below the beach path down here and our balloons way up there. The proposed George Hotel is 125 feet tall from the high water mark, approximately 90 feet high from Gower Point Road. This is completely in contravention with the Gibsons official community plan, which allows for up to 35 feet high from Gower Point Road. So the George would be 3 times too tall. The fact that the proposed hotel is 3 times too tall, 2.5 times too dense, and 2 times too large in massing is a really serious issue for the folks of Gibsons, given the fact that we've been through this before. We sat down together and agreed on a harbor plan that identified basic heights and massing, and this project is just way out of scale. It doesn't fit. I think the fundamental issue driving people's concerns around this project is that for something of this scale to be built in Gibson's Landing would totally destroy the small town charm and character of the place. We don't want Gibsons to be like every other town that gets overdeveloped with massive buildings that block out views and change the town. We love Gibsons the way it is. We want to grow and develop with that sense of place and uniqueness. So the one thing this community seems to collectively agree on is that it's amazingly beautiful. And the scale of the built form in Gibsons is part of what makes it beautiful. I'm doing this to help people get a real, honest sense of what is being presented to us in order that they will be able to make decisions about development on the waterfront based on what's true and what they can actually see, not necessarily on the pretty pictures that are being offered to us by the developer. One of the major issues about this development project is that the hotel site sits directly on top of Gibson's Aquifer, the best water in the world. In order to develop this project, they would need to excavate the site 33 feet down from Gower Point Road. What most people don't realize is that the aquifer water level starts at 18 feet down from well number 1, which is higher up across the street. In other words, excavating this land would be digging into the Gibsons aquifer. The proposed condominium building at 98 feet high from the waterfront and about 65 feet high from Gower Point Road would, in essence, create a huge wall all the way across the edge of Wine Garden Park, where the band shell is at the bottom. This would shade out our beloved park most of the time. High Marine, as most people are aware, has been an industrial boatways and fueling station for about 60 years. The notion that to dredge this area and develop over top of it won't spread toxic contamination all throughout the harbor doesn't really fly. I have to admit that the height of those balloons even surprised me. I did not expect that the George Hotel was that high. I imagine most of the folks walking down the street and who came to visit us on the beach, they seem to sort of have that same sense that it's way too big, it's way out of context. I haven't heard anybody really in Gibsons say that they oppose a hotel on the waterfront in the Landing. It's not about whether to build the hotel, it's about scale and character. We have a set of pretty clearly defined rules, and all we're asking is that the developer plays by the rules. So we are going to reel this line in 10 feet at a time to prove that this actually is 125 feet of line and that the height of those balloons is 125 feet tall. Okay, so here we're going to start reeling in the line in 10-foot increments. So the line starts here. Can you walk it out? The tape measure has been pulled out to 10 feet. So when Cerama gets to me, that'll be 20 feet.
This will be 30 feet. This is 40, right?
Yeah.
This would be 50.
This takes a while. That's 60.
70.
That's 80.
90.
That's
was
100.
110. Miscounted or 10 feet
Nope.
short?
120.
120.
I'm at the 5-foot mark here. 125.
So, Mythbusters, take that.
That's great.
Should we do it again?
No
No,
way.
we got the rehearsal. Now next time I'll run the camera.